Chapter 1: How Dollar Shave Club Took Over the Razor Blade Market. A startling number of startups are being developed annually. For executives of traditional companies, this isn't good news. We have watched how creative and innovative entrepreneurs manage to capture market share from companies that have existed for several decades. In some cases, startup entrepreneurs don't exactly succeed in taking over the whole market, but they compete so strongly that their traditional competitors will usually have to take measures that sometimes include losing millions of money. Gillette is one of such traditional companies that lost hundreds of millions of dollars due to this kind of negligence. When Dollar Shave Club started succeeding, Gillette didn't take it as anything serious until they started losing market share. The measures that they were forced to take would later cost them millions of dollars. They could have easily avoided that if they were proactive. This chapter will show you what Michael Dubin, founder of Dollar Shave Club, did to capture the hearts of people. Traditional brands should take competition seriously before it gets out of hand. Michael Dubin had innovative ideas and he acted on them. Actually, a better way to put it is that he identified Gillette's weak points and made them his own strengths. Gillette's blades were expensive. He made his own almost 50% cheaper. You had to go get Gillette from the store yourself. But Dollar Shave Club runs a monthly subscription program that makes it possible for them to deliver your blades right to your doorstep. In addition to these selling points, Dubin makes a killer marketing video that instantly went viral. It was short, hilarious, and straight to the point. Exactly what the average internet user will love. With this approach, Dubin got millions of subscribers in just a short time, a number he leveraged to get VC investors to put money into his business. Before you knew it, Dollar Shave Club was moving the market. Startup entrepreneurs can learn vital business lessons from Michael Dubin. First, understand your market, your biggest competitors, what your market needs, as well as how you can leverage the weaknesses of your competitors. Creativity and innovation are vital to succeeding in a new market. Chapter 2: The most important thing for a retail business is a good supplier. Retailing high-demand products is a good business model. Many startup entrepreneurs have succeeded by following this model. In the previous chapter, we used the Dollar Shave Club to illustrate how powerful this business model can be. Hubble is another company that used the same model to disrupt their industry. It started as an idea in the minds of two friends. Ben Kogan and Jesse Horwitz met one summer and decided that they were going to start retailing daily contact lenses. Since contact lenses were medical products, the two friends knew that they had to be extra careful in finding suppliers. Their business wouldn't last if they were supplying lenses that weren't FDA approved. This became a challenge. Together, they sifted through FDA databases, searching for manufacturers approved to sell contact lenses in the US. They found quite a number of manufacturers after the long search, and they sent cold emails to all of them. They waited for replies, but got none. Not one manufacturer got back to them. The reason was obvious. Nobody knew them and they didn't have any industry experience, so people were scared to do business with them. Ben and Jesse had to contact two medical experts who had industry experience. They sent the emails again, and this time they got responses. After holding meetings with several manufacturers, the two entrepreneurs decided to settle for a little-known Taiwanese company named Saint Shine Optical. Today, Hubble has hundreds of thousands of customers and their annual sales run into the tens of millions. The same model used by Dollar Shave Club and Hubble was used by Warby Parker, an eyeglass brand. Only that Warby Parker tweaked the approach a little by manufacturing their own frames instead of using frames from their suppliers. They started with just a dozen different plastic frames, but they have expanded. Now they have hundreds of different frame styles and sizes designed for both men and women. Again, price, convenience, and image are their major selling points. Your business is doomed to fail if you don't understand the market you're going into. Your first goal, therefore, is to understand the nature of your target market before deciding to serve it. Chapter 3: Drastic times call for drastic measures. Every startup entrepreneur, no matter how much they know their industry, will have to go through some struggle before their business grows to the height they desire. Having this at the back of your mind will help you prepare well before you start. It will also keep you from giving up on your brand when things don't seem to be working. Heidi Zak and David Spector are a couple who made the decision to quit both their jobs and focus on building an e-commerce brassiere brand called Third Love. Their strategy was to manufacture their own unique, high-quality brassieres. which they would sell at prices higher than the average industry price. You would think that because they both had MBAs and had worked for several organizations, they wouldn't encounter such problems. But their business almost crashed twice before it started to blossom. The first time was when customers were constantly being dissatisfied with the production mistakes being made by the manufacturer. Zach and David quickly solved that problem by changing manufacturers, even though it cost them a lot since the initial manufacturer was cheaper. As an entrepreneur, you must be ready to quickly adjust to changes. It will save your business. The only reason these reoccurring production mistakes didn't affect their business was that it happened in their first year, a time when people didn't quite know their brand. The second problem they encountered was difficulty with sales. This almost threw them out of the market. It was a combination of teamwork, idea generation, and risk-taking that saved their heads. Sometimes the risk of doing nothing is greater than the risk of doing what no one has done before. In such cases, taking a calculated risk is very advisable. Chapter 4. Social media is your best friend when you're just starting. It's one thing to have an idea or a wonderful product, but it's something entirely different to market your product to the right people. Ideally, you should know what your target market is before launching your business. The statistics show that millennials are the predominant market for most startups. This is mostly because that age group isn't attached to traditional brands. They can easily change to any brand that meets their needs for price, comfort, and convenience. However, this isn't to say that your predominant market has to be millennials simply because you're a startup. Third Love, for example, aimed at selling high-quality products at high prices. So, technically their market included a few millennials who could afford it, as well as the older generations. But no matter your target market, your best bet is to take advantage of social media marketing. 2 reasons. Number 1, you're just starting out. You don't have the money to spend on a traditional advertising agency. Secondly, no one knows your brand yet. You need to build social connections before going for TV, newspaper, or radio advertising. Experts recommend that you only use ad agencies when you're an established brand. Various social media advertising channels have arisen in the past, but the ones that businesses find most effective these days are Facebook and Instagram. Nearly all of your potential customers spend most of their lives on these platforms. Imagine how much your brand will grow if you're able to effectively build connections with your potential customers on these platforms. Facebook and Instagram have made it easier for anyone to shoot ads to their target market all by themselves. But you might need to employ the services of a seasoned digital marketer who can consistently develop rockstar ads and marketing strategies for your brand. The next chapter looks closely on practical ways you can build connections with your customers. Chapter 5. Building connection with your customers. In a world where companies seldom fail to fulfill their promise of delivering quality products at affordable prices, you will need something that speaks louder than quality to stand out. And that means paying attention to the little things that businesses, especially the big brands, have been ignoring. How many big brands do you know pay attention to delivering excellent customer experience? Very few, if any at all. People will instantly fall in love with your brand when you start showing them that you truly care about their lives. Don't forget that we're all social beings and emotional connection moves us more than any other external factor. So, how can you go about building connections with your customers? Genuinely listen to them, and your reply is proof that you have listened. You can't just listen and do nothing about it. Entrepreneurs often forget that their customers are the reason they are in business. Without customers, there will be no sales. And without sales, you will be frustrated and be forced to give up. Simply put, your entrepreneurial dream is dead if you don't have customers. Shouldn't this be enough motivation to listen to and serve your customers the way they want it? It's not about you or what you like. It's about what the customer will love. Content marketing is a great way to get in touch with your customers on a deeper level. This is very important. Occasionally ask your customers how they like to be served. For instance, if you're designing the look of a product, you could ask your designer to make several different samples, then ask your online audience to choose the one they prefer the most. When you do this, you know exactly what your customers want, and it's not hard to sell people what they already want to buy. Another way to build customer connection is to invest in giving your customers the wow experience. If you're running a direct-to-customer business, then pay good attention to customer service. Your customers will be happy with your brand if they know that their complaints will not just be heard, but they will receive speedy solutions to reported problems. It's not about distribution, it's about connection. Access to and relationship with the customer is the most important number one factor. Henry Davis, Grossier President. Conclusion: customer satisfaction is the major key to succeeding at a direct-to-customer business. Usually, it's not as if there aren't existing companies delivering the same or similar product or service as the one you plan on bringing on board. So you need to go the extra mile in making people see why they should buy it from you and not the other guys. Needless to say, building a disruptive startup has more to do with innovative thinking than simply identifying a market need. The 5 chapters of this summary have given you practical wisdom from the experience of startup entrepreneurs who are killing it. Don't just read, be sure to put the knowledge to work. One more thing to note is delivery. It is very important too. You need a delivery system that your customers will be happy with. There are technologies that you can use to make all your delivery processes highly efficient. But if you don't have much to spend, invest in a warehouse. Your apartment will do for now, a website, and a delivery team. As orders increase and your business begins to expand, making use of AI and robotics will become a great option. Try this. A proper understanding of your market and how it works, as well as an in-depth study of your major competition, isn't an option if you want your startup to thrive. It's something you have to do. You can start now. Social media, Google, and industry reports are wonderful resources you can use to learn more about your market, your competition, and your customers.